I had bought, for example, Tejas Network during the COVID. Stock price fell from 400 to 500 rupees to 40 rupees during COVID, and company had a loss of 100 crore rupees in a year or so.
The stock market price of Tejas Networks right now, as we have these conversations, 862.
Bull market creates stupid investors, and stupid investors create bear market, and bear market creates smart investors.
Smart investors.
And smart investors create bull market.
Bull markets. Oh, that is the cycle.
That is the cycle. I am trying to catch a fish in the ocean, not a crocodile in the pond. Because if you are today, you are a small fish, you can transform yourself and you have entire ocean to cover up. So this is what I'm looking for in a company. When everybody is dancing, you should also dance, but don't get drunk.
Hello and welcome to the 10th episode of Market Cafe. We are back after the year-end holiday with more coffee and more conversations on markets, investing, life and much more. I'm your host, Surabhi Upadhyay. Well, the guest who's going to join me on the show today actually needs no introduction. He is a veteran investor who has been in this market for over 3 decades. He started when he was really young, when he was just 19. Now, you would have heard him before as well, but today I want to make him sit down and tell us his secret sauce, the magic mantra that powers his investment psyche. I want to find out how Vijay Kedia picks his multi-baggers. So let's go. Well, Vijay ji, it is so good to see you here. Thank you for taking out the time. I know it's a bit of a drive to come out of, office and studio. But that's the whole point. It is Market Cafe. That's the name of this show. So we'll talk markets, थोड़ी coffee पियेंगे, थोड़ी conversations करेंगे. That's the idea. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for inviting me in your program.
And I must say this is the first time I'm meeting you in 2024. So abhi to it's not too late. I think I can still wish you a Happy New Year.
Yes.
Happy Sankrant and Lodi and Happy New Year.
Yeah, so many things, yeah.
So you tell us, how has the year started off for you? कैसा रहा है अभी तक आपके लिए 24?
As they say, so far so good. Market is at new peak.
Imagine.
Index is at new high. Even today also new high.
Yeah.
I remember one song, new high daily बना रहे हो, क्यों इतनी जल्दी मचा रहे हो?
You know, great that you bring this up, and that's what sometimes people will wonder. We had this consolidation, right? What consolidation? Basically, 2 weeks we were in a range, and then an all-time high happened. So, is this, the pace, is that worrying you at all?
First of all, I will tell you, this is what I have noticed in every bull market. In a bull market, and this kind of bull market, red hot bull market,
thank you.
Reaction does not last more than 2 days.
Reaction, correction.
Correction, that is a reaction, whatever you call it, correction. It doesn't last more than 2 days. And sometime in half day, correction is over.
Exactly.
Sometimes. So this is the sign of a red hot bull market. So as you are asking me now, your second question is whether it's worrying me or not. I'm not worrying because I have worried a lot in my life. So now nothing worries me. It is also a part and parcel of a bull market. Obviously, it is not going to be like this forever. One day it is going to correct, one day it is going to crash. So that is a part and parcel of a bull market or life. So that is okay.
Absolutely. So, and that is why we wanted to get you here, because a lot of people follow you, hear you. And you have spent, long, hard, over 3 decades in the market, right? Probably more, I don't know. You started when you were still a teenager. That's when you had your first brush with stocks. At 19 is when you started. So many years in the market. What do you think is the biggest teaching or learning that the market has taught you?
So I will tell you, there are 2 parts of your question. One part is, like I have written a few months back, that bull market creates stupid investors.
Yes.
And pardon me for this, because I'm not saying stupid to
people. No, I get it.
It's just a poem, just a rhyme. Bull market creates stupid investors, and stupid investors create bear market, and bear market creates smart investors. And smart investors create bull market.
Bull markets.
Yes.
Oh, that is the cycle.
That is the cycle.
The cycle of life in the market.
In the market. So this is what it happens every time. In every bull market, this cycle is repeating itself. Now coming to your second point, that it is a matter of, what was the second point?
So I want to start by asking you, for yourself, what is the biggest learning जो market ने आपको सिखाई है in all the years that you spent here, right from the trading days in the teens?
Whatever I have understood little bit about this market is this, that everybody is genius in a bull market. Okay, so bull market is like spring. So you are not contributing anything into this.
There's momentum.
It's a momentum. It's a law of nature, right?
Yeah.
So it is happening. So don't get too much excited and don't take too much of credit for yourself that I have done this, I have done this.
Don't start thinking you are Warren Buffett or Vijay Kedia.
No, not Vijay Kedia is nothing, but don't try to feel that you are invincible or you have learned the trick of investing and now you are a successful trader or successful investor. I always feel that if you think that you are making money in this kind of bull market because of your skill, that means you haven't seen a bear market. So be polite, be humble.
Be humble.
Market is giving you this opportunity. As I said, that everybody is genius in a bull market. So you can claim that you are a genius, but you could be a genius sometime, but you could be an ass also sometime, a donkey sometime. So don't take credit. Now the flow is there, spring is there, and spring all kinds of flowers, bloom. So just take advantage of it. And think about what is going to happen day after tomorrow, not today. Because ultimately this euphoria is not going to last forever. As I said, it is going to die down.
So when you say it is going to die down, is that because you see some risk on the horizon, or you're saying generally markets are cyclical? So kabhi na kabhi to niche aayega.
It's like shadow, it's like din or raat, day and night, and sukh or dukh, and life and death. It's a cycle. It has to happen like this. Agar ऐसे चलेगा तो Nifty 2 लाख हो जाएगा 2 साल के अंदर में.
But sir, पैसा पे देखिए ना. I was just looking at the Friday, previous numbers, previous trading days numbers. So now we're in a market where 2,000, 3,000 crores is coming daily from domestic institutions. This whole mutual fund. So that is the only difference, I think, in this cycle, that there's so much retail money that's flowing in.
No, Surabhi, it happens every time. You are talking about what 2,000, 3,000 crore in a market cap, what $3.5 trillion. I don't know whatever is the market cap as on today. So in 3.5 trillion dollar, we are talking about 2,000 crore, 5,000 crore, 10,000 crore. 16,000 crore
SIP.
Fund is SIP is collecting every month. What is 16,000 crore? You tell me. 16,000 crore is just $2 billion. In a market cap of $3.5 trillion or $4 trillion, you are collecting $2 billion, and you are, big bang आप बजा रहे हो कि 16,000 crore आ गया, 16,000 crore आ गया. What you are talking, this is, I don't think that is any difference this time also. Calculate 10 years back what was our market cap and what kind of money used to come into the market. So ratio wise, we will find it could be lesser than that.
So basically, you are saying that it will be digested by the market. That's not that enough.
I think it's a drop in the ocean. Stock market, total stock market kind of market size, the money, the kind of money it's coming, it's just a drop in the ocean. A time will come, so far this SIP is concerned. Maybe I had said somewhere that 16,000 on your channel. I had said the 16,000 per day. So maybe if not 16,000 per day, 16,000 per week is very much visible in next maybe in 2 years time.
In the near future. No, I couldn't agree more. Absolutely, because people have just started tasting what equities can do.
Just the beginning of this trend.
Because like you're saying, money will keep coming in. The question on valuations. So we speak to experts, throughout the day, and the common discussion, 19 times is standard P or 20 times is, the normal for India. 21 pay, its market is getting overvalued. How do you look at these debates about overvaluation? Because if money will keep coming and chasing, that multiple will go up. So how should investors deal with this concept of, "Abhi bahut overvalue ho gaya, mat kharido"?
No, I don't. So far, my own theory is concerned, my own principles, and on my own stocks are concerned. I don't compare them with the market. I don't compare them with the market P. If you are talking about the market P, then maybe P of Nifty is only 20, if I am not wrong. But there are some stocks which are quoting at 60, 70, 80, 100, 120 P.
Absolutely.
And there are still some shares which are actually available at a single digit P. This, when we are talking about market, we are talking about on an average. So I look at the market from my personal investment point of view. So I don't find that I own any shares which is quoting at a 60, 70 or 80 ka P and all. So I am comfortable. Of course, there must be some exuberance, because क्या होता है जब excitement होता है तो सब पटाखे फोड़ने लग जाते हैं, सब दिए जलाने लग जाते हैं. तो वो चीज तो यहाँ पर मार्केट में चलेगा. That is the difference between a fish market and a stock market. price differs. You go in the morning, you have a different price. You go after 1 hour, price is different. So this is the nature of stock market. So that is why I said that don't think about today. In investing, I have learned one thing, Surabhi. That one thing is very important. If you are a long-term investor, don't think about today.
Sure.
Don't think about tomorrow also. Think about next week or next month or for next year. Forget about all this. Live for today. Tomorrow never comes. Tomorrow does come. You never know. Next month does come. You don't know whether you are going to live or not. So I'm not worried about all this.
Keep your eye on the long term. Got that.
Long term, yeah.
So and that is where, especially in a market like this, picking the right stocks becomes all the more important. It's always important, but even more when you're going to put money in a 22,000 market. Even stocks have run up, or capital goods and defense stocks and things have already run up. Then I think the art and science of stock picking becomes even more difficult, and you need to focus. And that's why we have you here today, to give us a bit of a crash course or a mini lesson, because you have been doing that so successfully in your portfolio in many stocks, right? We always hear you talk about it, and we discussed in our earlier shows, Atul Auto we discussed, Punjab Tractors, the story is very well known. Today I want to ask you, कि आप stocks, ये जो multi-bagger जो आप select करते हैं, which go on to become multi-bagger, how do you start? What is it that you pick? Do you back a management, or do you look at an industry कि इस industry में growth आने वाली है, यहाँ से stock pick करूँ, or the business? How does Vijay Kedia pick multi-baggers?
No, it's very simple for me, since I have been practicing this since ages, for more than 2-3 decades. So that is why I can say that it's easy, but of course investing is not easy, although it is simple, but not easy, because we only make everything complex. So as you know that I'm applying that SMILE formula that everybody knows, so we are not going to discuss that. Besides thing one, I have summarized.
No, but please give the full form. Maybe there are new viewers who've joined in, maybe who haven't heard much about the SMILE philosophy. That's his philosophy of investment.
Yeah, so SMILE stands for small in size, medium in experience, large in aspiration, and extra large market potential. So this is what I am following.
Yes.
So I am trying to catch a fish in the ocean, not a crocodile in the pond. Because if you are a small fish, you can transform yourself and you have entire ocean to cover up. So this is what I'm looking for in a company. But my another philosophy is very simple, that I am just tracking, you can say that an athlete, which has set a record in the past. And if that athlete falls sick, I just keep it on my radar. I keep that athlete on my radar.
Okay.
Like a company which has created some milestone in the past.
Okay.
Whenever the last economy was,
the boom cycle was
there. That time they had done some things. They have created some milestone.
Okay.
And now they have fallen sick.
Okay.
So I am waiting for that athlete to recover.
And then start running again.
It's a past glory, or better than that. Only thing is that stamina should be there, still left in in that athlete.
So give us some examples from the portfolio, if you can, of the one odd stock where you might have adopted this approach.
So there are many stocks, and I think that is the backbone of my investing. Like I applied the same formula, and again we are talking about stock. So I'm not a CB registered consultant. I don't pay any services. I don't offer any services. I don't charge anything. Nor I am a consultant, nor a broker. So we are just discussing
just to understand the thought process.
The thought process. So like I had bought, for example, Tejas Network during the COVID. Okay. So it's a company. It was once before COVID, the stock price was 400 rupees, and it was termed at the only company in India in telecom equipment,
networking
equipment, not in services, in equipment. So it was termed as the maybe Huawei of China,
potential Huawei of India. Yeah.
But ultimately, stock price did not do well, and company did not do well, and the stock price fell from 400 to 500 rupees to 40 rupees during COVID, and company had a loss of 100 crore rupees in a year or so. So it was an athlete who has created a track record, but fallen sick and came down to 40 rupees during COVID. Of course, COVID also helped it to come down to this level.
Absolutely, it compounded the crash.
So that is all right. But the company was available at a throwaway price. And that time I found that all these telecom services company, because they are giant, like Jio was there, and of course Airtel and Vodafone, so 2.5 companies as they call them. So those companies were still surviving, and other all 10 or 15 companies had vanished.
Yes.
So now these companies, the telecom company, had started doing capex and all. And otherwise they had a very bad patch between 2012 and 2019 or so, or 18 and 19 or so. They did not, expand and they did not do any capex and all. So I realized that this is the only company in India which into those network equipment. And the future of telecom services company, which are the customers, has started reviving. So to me, it was a no-brainer at that point of time. And the kind of the money the company was losing, actually they had cash in the books. So I bought that Tejas, and luckily it helped me.
I am just checking the stock market price of Tejas Networks right now as we have these conversations. 862.
Yeah.
You bought close to 40.
Yeah.
862.
Yeah.
Now that is the way a multi-bagger is picked. So that's one way. Please.
Yeah.
So that is obviously one way. We understood that lesson, that you pick well-performing companies, good growth companies in a downturn. When things are not going in their favor, but if they have the stamina, as you said, they will indeed bounce back. So ek tarika to ye ho gaya. Any other thing, any other tip you'd like to share with us in terms of picking a stock?
Now I will give you one example. When we sit in the plane, the air hostess tells you कि sir, 2 द्वार आपके पीछे हैं, 2 द्वार आपके आगे हैं, 4 द्वार बीच में हैं. आप ध्यान रखिए, आपका निकटतम द्वार आपके निकट भी हो सकता है.
Yes.
So what I feel that मेरे को इससे ये समझ में आया कि स्टोरी जो है वो आपके सामने है, आपके निकट द्वार में है. You can sense what is going to happen in India. You can sense which story is going to play out. You can see where is the next opportunity. I realized this maybe 1.5 years back कि एयरपोर्ट पे जाते हो, आप देखो एयरपोर्ट बस का अड्डा बन गया है.
बिल्कुल, बैठने की जगह नहीं होती.
बैठने की जगह नहीं होती. आप काउंटर देखो सब फुल, और आप एयरलाइंस में जाओ सब वो प्लेन रुकता नहीं है, सब खड़े हो जाते हैं और ऐसे लग रहा है बस में हम लोग आ गए. पहले बस में चढ़ते थे तो ऐसे लग रहा है कि हम एकदम वो बस के अंदर में आ गए.
It's an ordeal to fly now, yeah.
तो forget about all this. One thing I have realized, Surabhi, that when luxury become necessity, that is the story to watch. That is going to become the next story. When luxury becomes necessity. So now coming to this thing, so 1.5 years when I started looking at all these things around, and then I bought an airline company. Okay. Again, it's not a recommendation, just for reference purpose, just for an example. I bought Indigo, I bought. And this I said on TV also, on the budget day, last budget day, in February 2023, before the February 23. So just looking at this thing, forget about, I did not see any ROC.
Because usually they say airlines are the worst business. They never make money, right? This is like worldly wisdom of the markets.
Of course, even Mr. Warren Buffett also says that. So maybe he's right, but things change. Remember he was saying that मैं technology Apple में नहीं करूँगा, something had happened.
And that was one of the best stocks in the
performance.
Portfolio.
Now I think 30-40% of his portfolio is Apple only. So things change, and he has also said that principles are outdated. He has also said the same thing. So I think this airlines thing is going to play out for next 10, 15, 20 years. I may go wrong, and I may sell my cell tomorrow also. Please remember this thing.
Absolutely. You're putting all the caveats out.
But I'm just trying to, for the benefit of the for the fellow investors, I'm trying to share my thought that how do I judge a story? How do I that? So this is how I feel this idea should be.
How you should think of ideas.
Think of ideas. Look around and you will find a lot of ideas.
Lots and lots of thoughts, lots of ideas over there, which now brings me back to today. Now we've done the theory part of it. How should one approach this and apply this, the philosophy that you just taught us? How do we apply that in today's context? Because when you get a 1,000-point fall, it becomes very easy. You know which stocks you want to buy, and even if they've run up a lot, and tell us if you think that, let's say, defense, capex, PSUs, are you still convinced that they can run higher? That's a question that I think all of our viewers keep asking us, that please ask the experts. So, agar in pe paisa lagana bhi hai, to how to even do it? Because that big fall is not coming where people would rush in and quickly, have their shopping list ready.
No, the fall does not come when you anticipate. It will catch you when you are sleeping.
That's true.
Okay. So it does not happen. It doesn't give any signal. So the best philosophy or the best theory what I have understood in this, that I'm not investing in this market until unless I get some story which fits into my own philosophy. That could be faulty, that could be wrong or right. That is okay. There is a code of mind when everybody is dancing now, Surabhi. When everybody is dancing, you should also dance, but don't get drunk.
That's a good one.
When there is a party and everybody is drinking and dancing,
enjoy.
You should also drink or dance, coffee or wine or whatever. Don't get drunk.
Don't get drunk.
Yes. So I'm not getting drunk.
Yeah.
Okay, my senses are intact, and I'm just watching the market, and I'm enjoying the flow. Because maybe
you're already invested, yeah.
I'm fully invested, so maybe my stock will also maybe some of the pockets, some of the stock must have become overbought. So they will correct. When market will correct, they will also correct. So I don't want to change my thing. Stay calm.
What about this whole PSU rally? Nobody could have thought. I think if I had asked in 2021 to any of our experts saying, PSU stocks, 9 out of 10 experts would have said that no, government has no business to be in business. PSU stocks kuch keh nahi sakte, and for good reason, because that's how that cycle played out. What do you think about this now, and what would you advise people to do in this PSU space?
That's what I'm saying about like airlines. Now people have a different opinion. When things started playing out, then they change their opinion.
Yeah.
So ultimately, these PSUs and all this defense and all this, they are going to remain there, and that boom is going to remain there for next 10, 15, 20 years. Should be. Okay. Of course, I feel that stocks are expensive. But let me tell you, I thought this 3 months back also, these stocks are expensive. But last 10 miles, they can double or triple or whatever it can happen. So don't think about expensive or not expensive. You won't get answer to this. If you feel that you are not comfortable with this kind of valuation, you should sell your stock and buy something else, and regret. As I always say, that stock market is a place to regret. You buy shares, you sell early, you regret. You buy, sell, you don't sell, stock price comes down, you regret. You buy shares, you don't buy, and stock price goes up, you regret. So that regret is a lifestyle disease of investing. You have to live with this. Enjoy this.
But you feel that this pocket is expensive now, so you wouldn't put money here. Is that right?
Yes, I wouldn't put my money. Okay. So maybe I'm wrong. It's okay.
That's all right.
Doesn't matter. As it is, I'm not keeping my money below the pillow. Okay, it is invested somewhere else. तो ये नहीं चलेगा, तो तुम नहीं होगी तो और होगा, और नहीं होगी तो कोई और होगी. क्या है इसके अंदर?
तो बताइए कोई और कौन है? That's my question. What is capturing your imagination now in terms of something that you're finding interesting, trends, something that, again, looking at the future?
No, as I said that I'm invested in, my portfolio is very much diversified based on Indian economy, Indian consumption and domestic theory and all. So I'm still invested. So holding is also an investment, Not every time. Where would I get money to invest every time? People call me, आज क्या लेने का? एक बताओ, 10 दिन बाद फोन करते, अभी और क्या लेने का? अरे तो पहले क्या किया भाई? Why do you want to open a pan ka shop? You want to have 200 kinds of stock? Concentrate on 20 stocks, 15 stocks. That is enough for you. So where do you get money every time? I don't get money every time. So I am fully invested. I am enjoying the ride. So inactivity is also an activity, Surabhi. Every time you don't have to be active in a market. There are times where sometimes you have to be active. Sometimes you have to be selective, and sometimes in the market you have to be inactive, or very selective, inactive and very selective. So as I say that I'm enjoying the ride, I'm enjoying this journey. Why should I invest every time in this market?
No, absolutely. Also, let's talk about exits, right? Either someone exits because they need the money, or of course you have to exit when you realize you've made a mistake. But otherwise, if the going is good and you're riding the wave like you're riding right now, when do you decide that acha ab ho gaya, now let's book out?
No, when I feel that a story has been played out, or maybe the growth, the kind of growth the company has shown in the past cannot be repeated in the future. If I may go wrong also into this, but that is the time. My stomach is full. I will sell. I will keep my plate, and I will go away. Let you make money now. I would be very happy if I sell some shares and you buy that shares and you make money. That story was identified by me and I made money and you are also making money. What could be the joy beyond this? Tell me. So that is okay. So I exit when I find the story has been played out. Now growth is restricted. Company would not grow beyond that certain point. Lot of competitions are also coming into this. And stock is very expensive. I bought some shares. Suppose if I buy some shares at a P of 5, 6, 7 or 8, and now it is quoting at 40, 45 or maybe 50 and all. So maybe I can sell my shares and regret, but happily regret.
Lovely, lovely. So then coming to the here and now, as you said about today's market, you've already told us that party is on, music is on. So dance, drink, but don't get drunk, right? Medium to long term, if you were to look at this market and this economy, which are the must-have themes or areas in anybody's portfolio? One you mentioned, aviation is something you are very, strongly believing in. What else?
So many things, Surabhi. As I said that suppose if you are going to become say $30 trillion economy or $35 trillion economy in next 20 years, Amrit Kal or whatever it is, there won't be a one-side growth. It has to be exponential. It has to be driven by the consumerism, as we read and as we know that we have, like when the economy crosses 2,500 per capita income and all, 2,200, 2,500, consumerism boom, in every country. So now India is at an inflection point. So I think everything should prosper. Like I will tell you that I have some shares in tourism. I have domestic tourism, not Indigo and all. Some other
hotels,
like holidays, Mahindra Holidays. I have again. It's not a recommendation. So that is like in hotel. That's a proxy to hotels and hospitality industry and all. I have stocks in what you call infrastructure, in telecommunications. So everything will prosper. I think. Everything should do well. You should have just faith in Indian economy and the market.
Speaking of Amrit Kal, you were telling me just as we were walking in for the show that you've written something on Amrit Kal, right? Would you want to share that with us?
Yes. So I've written a 4-line short poem which I'm going to recite. कि अमृत काल के 25 साल में भारत की हुई एंट्री है. तेज गति से बढ़ने वाली ये नंबर 1 कंट्री है. खुशहाली समृद्धि के संग स्वाभिमान कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री है. 5 साल में टॉप 3 में होंगे, मोदी जी की गारंटी है.
Wow. Beautiful. Lots of optimism. And yes, we sense that, right? When we travel around, we go around, the aspirations have grown. You go and try and get, holiday bookings anywhere or flights. So you look at the malls, so the hustle and bustle is real. Now another very important question. In such a high growth space where markets are booming, economy is booming, and everybody thinks they're a genius, how to keep yourself humble and grounded? Like you told us, it's important to remain humble. How do you look at, personally for yourself, how do you ensure that you remain grounded? What do you do outside the market, which kind of completes you?
No, first of all, let me tell you that how do I keep myself calm or humble or whatever? Because there is a quote of mine that your demat statement belongs to the market. Your bank statement belongs to you.
Okay.
Right? Your investment belongs to the market. Your profit only belongs to you. So whatever people are talking about my portfolio, that does not belong to me, Baba.
Oh.
Until unless I have sold the shares and withdrew the money from the market, I can't say that it's my money.
It's invested.
It's a stock market. It is not your stock कि कपड़े का stock, कपड़े की दुकान में कपड़े का stock रख रखा है मैंने. ये अब वो कोविड में क्या हो गया? आपका क्या वर्क था आपका? क्या था? कोई किसी को पता ही नहीं कहां से कहां पहुंच गए. खाली गाना गा रहे थे, ये कहां आ गए हम जो ही साथ चलते चलते. तो दिस इज व्हाट दैट कीप्स मी ग्राउंडेड कि भैया ये मेरा वर्क कुछ नहीं है और क्या मेरे को क्या करने का है. मेरे को खाने पीने घूमने फिरने जो मेरा लाइफस्टाइल है, एक लिमिटेड पैसा चाहिए मेरे को जी. तो क्या चीज क्या करने का है. वन थिंग आई हैव रियलाइज्ड दैट व्हाटएवर आई हैव डन इन द मार्केट फ्रॉम योर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू आई हैव नॉट डन इट. इट हैज हैपेंड. Market rewarded me.
Yeah, as we coming to the final thoughts here, your advice to a lot of youngsters, and I keep getting calls and messages saying, "Arey, you're tracking stock markets, you're talking to experts. FNO में तो बताओ कुछ FNO में क्या हो रहा है?" We're seeing what's happening, right? We're seeing the surge in options volumes, etc. What is the advice you want to give to people? Because you've done it in your earlier years yourself. You've done options trading, derivatives, all of that. What do you say on this trend, and what is the advice you'd want to give to people?
I'll tell you, the name itself is future optional. Future and option. So you have an option.
Maybe not.
Do or die. And SEBI also says that 90% people lose money in options.
Nobody's listening to SEBI. They put out the release.
Because everybody wants to come into that category of 1% or 10%
who are making
money. Okay, and it's not 10%. I think hardly 1% people make money. If you calculate, So there is a quote of mine, Surabhi. Usually what happens, why do all these youngsters or new investors come into the market and they want to make money in future and option? Because so many people ask me, where should I bring my initial capital from if I will not do trading and all? Where would I bring my initial capital? So I tell them that there are two ways you can create initial capital for investment into this market. One is by doing FNOs, future and options. And chances of winning is 1%. 99% chances are there
that your money.
Little bit capital, whichever you put as a margin in the future and option will also be wiped out. So this is one way. Second one is whatever expenses you have, daily expenses, monthly expenses you have, you can curtail your expenses for 3, 4, 5 years.
Creating that initial corpus to invest.
Yes, save that money from your own expenses. Don't go to fancy hotels and don't go for all fancy branding things and all because you are still young. So save that money from that and create a capital, invest in the market. Chances are that 90% chances are that you will be successful.
Yeah. That's
At least you won't, 100% chances are that you won't fail.
That is
at
true.
least.
That is true.
So that is the simplest way. But nobody wants to make it simple. People want a complex theory. सबको रेत से ही तेल निकालने का है कि नहीं मेरे को रेत से ही तेल निकालने का तो निकाल भैया तो एक बार गिरने के बाद में समझ जाएगा जिंदगी लंबी है कोई बात नहीं.
Vijay, it has been a pleasure speaking with you. You have given us lots of pearls of wisdom and advice. Keep it simple. Look at your own savings and then put the money in the market. Dance when the party is on, but don't get drunk. Some great thoughts and great ideas. It's been an absolute pleasure listening into you. Thank you so much for joining us. And I wish that this year continues to be a wonderful year for you, health-wise, wealth-wise, in every possible way.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, that's it on this episode of Market Cafe. See you again soon with one more conversation. Thank you for watching CNBC TV18 and do follow us on all our social media platforms for news, updates and more.